Told me love don't live around here no more. So I built a city in the dark, looking for you. Neon halo over sinners in designer clothes. Angels in the section throwing roses at the post. Everybody broken, but we hide it in the gold. Dancing with the devil while we praying for control. I came from the bottom where the wine turned bitter, where the snake talk slick and the cold get colder. Now I move water like a prophet in the winter, turn pain into champagne every time I pour over. Crossroads, lost souls all inside the venue. Heart full of scars, but the lights make them sensual. Every bad decision got a price in the menu. Still I break bread with the ones that would end you. If love's a religion, then why we all sinning? Why every kiss feel forbidden? Still chase that lie like we already seen it. We all want heaven without dying tonight. Want diamonds and forever in the same neon lights. Everybody reaching for a feeling they can't buy, so we toast to the stars while we slowly lose our minds. But if I fall, would you carry my name through the fire at all? If the world go dark and the last song calls, would you still choose love at the end of it all? And I've been running on fumes in a room full of saints with a halo of smoke and a head full of blame. If there's mercy left, let it know my face. If there's room in the dark, let me stay. We all want heaven without dying tonight. Want diamonds and forever in the same neon lights. Said everybody reaching for a feeling they can't buy, so we toast to the stars while we slowly lose our minds. But if I fall, would you carry my name through the fire at all? If the world go dark and the last song calls, would you still choose love at the end of it all? Neon salvation. Neon salvation. Told me love don't live around here no more. So I built a city in the dark, looking for you. Neon halo over sinners in designer clothes. Angels in the section throwing roses at the post. Everybody broken, but we hide it in the gold. Dancing with the devil while we praying for control. I came from the bottom where the wine turned bitter, where the snake talk slick and the cold get colder. Now I move water like a prophet in the winter, turn pain into champagne every time I pour over. Crossroads, lost souls all inside the venue. Heart full of scars, but the lights make them sensual. Every bad decision got a price in the menu. Still I break bread with the ones that would end you. If love's a religion, then why we all sinning? Why every kiss feel forbidden? Still chase that lie like we already seen it. We all want heaven without dying tonight. Want diamonds and forever in the same neon lights. Everybody by, so we toast to the stars while we slowly lose our minds. But if I fall, would you carry my name through the fire at all? If the world go dark and the last song calls, would you still choose love at the end of it all? And I've been running on fumes in a room full of saints with a halo of smoke in a head full of blame. If there's mercy left, let it know my face. If there's room in the dark, let me stay. We all want heaven without dying tonight. Want diamonds and forever in the same neon lights. Said everybody reaching for a feeling they can't buy. So we toast to the stars while we slowly lose our minds. But if I fall, would you carry my name through the fire at all? If the world go dark and the last song calls, would you still choose love at the end of it all? Need your salvation. Need your salvation. Told me love don't live around here no more. So I built a city in the dark, looking for you. Neon halo over sinners in designer clothes. Angels in the section throwing roses at the post. Everybody broken, but we hide it in the gold. Dancing with the devil while we praying for control. I came from the bottom where the wine turned bitter, where the snake talk slick and the cold get colder. Now I move water like a prophet in the winter, turn pain into champagne every time I pour over. Crossroads, lost souls all inside the venue. Heart full of scars, but the lights make them sensual. Every bad decision got a price in the menu. Still I break bread with the ones that would end you. If love's a religion, then why we all sinning? Why every kiss feel forbidden, still chase that lie like we already seen it. We all want heaven without dying tonight. Want diamonds and forever in the same neon lights. Said everybody reaching for a feeling they can't buy. So we toast to the stars while we slowly lose our minds. But if I fall, would you carry my name through the fire at all? If the world go dark and the last song calls, would you still choose love at the end of it all? And I've been running on fumes in a room full of saints with a halo of smoke in a head full of blame. If there's mercy left, let it know my face. If there's room in the dark, let me stay. We all want heaven without dying tonight. Want diamonds and forever in the same neon lights. Said everybody reaching for a feeling they can't buy. So we toast to the stars while we slowly lose our minds. But if I fall, would you carry my name through the fire at all? If the world go dark and the last song calls, would you still choose love at the end of it all? Need your salvation. Need your salvation.
All right. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me close this out. All right. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Let me know in the live chat if y'all can hear my my sultry voice over the headphone microphone right quick. Because I honestly can't tell. Like I can see it on the display or whatever. I can't tell how clear and crisp, my low tone, quote unquote manly, sultry voice is being heard over these interwebs. So please let me know in the live chat ASAP. In the meantime, while I, gather all that awesome positive feedback from you guys, um, yes, Christ is King. Yes, and Allah is the devil. Um, which is true. He's speaking facts. Real quick. Before I show my face, um, before I start tonight's show or whatever, I just want to give absolutely everyone here, FM, Remix Ultra, Jaime, Dead Twist, um, and I believe I saw someone else here earlier. I'm not sure, maybe not. Anyone who's in here, I want to give you guys a huge virtual hug, right? And tell you guys, God bless you as always. I truly, genuinely hope everybody is doing well. I know everybody has their own lives to tend to. I know everybody has their own responsibilities to tend to. But I want to let every single one of you guys and gals know that you are loved. You are, you know, viewed highly in God's eyes. God has big and great, awesome plans for every single one of you. And, the mercy of God is new every day. That's what his word says, right? His mercy is new every day to those who love him, right? And if you love him, then, obviously you keep his commandments and you live a life that he would be proud of, right? So on and so forth. But I just want to remind you guys, that, yeah, you guys are blessed, you're favored, right? And God has shown mercy upon all of us. Because if we're living, we're breathing, and we have a roof over our heads, and we have food in the fridge, and we have a job and a family to tend to and enjoy, these are all things. Not to say that people who don't have these things are not blessed, but it's just that much more to be thankful for if we do have these things. But yeah, so we have a lot to talk about. Some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight are serious topics. One of them being that one of my favorite characters of all time, uh, Ghost from CC Unit, apparently has returned from a long hiatus. I think well over a year, maybe a little bit more than that. Um, I think I saw a post on Instagram last night or yesterday or a day before, something along those lines. Him announcing his return to, doing the whole PDF file catching and confronting. So, when I saw that, I really did. Um, it did light up a smile on my face. 'Cause I'm like, this is someone that I highly respect and someone who I you know, I look up to in a sense, right? Because it doesn't matter if I'm older, right? Many times a lot of people get that like mixed up and confused. Like when you say, "Oh, I look up to you," if they think that it has to do with like, oh, like when I grow older, I wish I had like your wisdom, or I hope I have your same like valor, or just. But it doesn't always have to be that way. Sometimes, many times, actually, us quote unquote, more mature, like older people in age, right? Not that I'm old. I'm only 37 years old, but quote unquote older people, right? We have many reasons why to look up to a lot of like like younger people and what they do and the heart that they have to do it. So Ghost is one of those people that he's younger than me, but I look up to him in a lot of ways, because he really has made a mark and made his mark in the community. He's made a name for himself over years, and he's done things, as best of his abilities. One of the few catchers that, in my opinion, does his best to do things like by the book, responsibly, right? Strategically, and he's like one of the closest things to a like quote unquote mass vigilante that I think of when I think of like mass vigilantes in the real world. You know what I mean? Like quote unquote like real life like superheroes. so so shout out to Ghost from CC Unit. I hope he's doing well. And I hope that if he is coming back to do his thing, I hope that the time that he spent off of social media and not the internet, but social media served him well. And I hope that it served him as a time of self reflection, a time of, like mental health, because like dealing with that stuff, and FM and all these other PDF file catchers, you know all of them know what dealing with that type of situation does to the psyche, right? And it does to like the brain and the emotions, and you know many times I'm sure sadly there's images that you can't get out of your head just because they leave like an emotional like traumatic mark on the person. Same thing with like the decoys. The decoys like Jaime. You know, I'm sure that they go through the same thing where they'll read the chat logs and they'll see certain images or videos, and not purposely, but some of these conversations and images, might sadly take a while to kind of like forget, just because of how sad and disturbing all that type of like content is. So, I hope that Ghost, while he was pretty much like taking a hiatus and taking time for himself, was able to recover, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and fortified his mind, his spirit, his heart to keep doing what he does. So shout out to Ghost, and to all the PDF catchers and confronters like FM, and obviously Alex, and everyone who does what they do out there on the streets. But yeah, so a lot of serious topics like that. There is. Let me see if I can post it up over here real quick. There is a case in my hometown, well, one of my hometowns in PR, that has taken well over a year basically to pretty much like you know deal with or resolve, right? uh and this is someone that the 16-year-old who got stabbed to death wasn't a personal friend of mine, but the family, like her family, her mom, and her like, cousins, aunts, and stuff, and I believe even her used to go to my brother's church before they like moved out of PR a few years back. And so it's someone who is technically a family friend. Um, and this case has pretty much taken more than a year because evidence has been lost. The defense of the potential um, attackers has done a great job with like extending the case, pretty much like delaying everything, and pretty much like asking the same questions to the people, what do you call it, the witnesses, and all these other things. So it's taken forever to resolve. Brother Red is in the house. Blessings and love to you, Brother Red. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Um, let me show my face real quick, because not because I want to, but sometimes people have like a bit of allergies right now. So, anyways, yeah, this case is near and dear to my heart, and it's really really sad that it has been taking this long to pretty much resolve a case that should have been done and over with like no more than a month, and that's like pushing it. It should have been an open closed case. But again, like I said, the defense attorney for the people in question or accused of this violent crime, I think this girl got stabbed like 11 times or something like that. Stabbed to death. And not broad daylight. It was nighttime, but like out in the open, just like out in the street, you know. Um, and again, it's she's a family friend. Her family, obviously is our family friends, people who visited our church from time to time. Some of them which we know personally, like on a more deeper, like personal level, and it's just really messed up, yo. It's really messed up. Now, currently, what's going on is that the mother, which apparently helped the daughter like stab this girl to death, she is potentially going to serve 100 years in prison, right? But you might as well just call it life at that point because 100 years. You know what I mean? She's already like 50 something or 60 something, so I highly doubt she'll even survive. You know, not even like. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens because a lot of people, want like justice. They want to take justice in their own hands. So we'll see how long she survives in prison. Um, but if she does survive beyond, the day, a week, a month, then I could possibly see her serving like a few years before she dies of natural causes or whatever. But that's just the mom. The daughter, who is believed to be the attacker in this case, which um, might be the person who stabbed the other girl to death. We're still waiting on that part of this case to be resolved and to be given, like I want to hear like the consequences of how much time she's going to serve, and if they even find her like actually guilty of the crime, because that's the other thing. Like there's a difference between uh, being what innocent, guilty, not guilty, and like the other term or whatever. But yeah, that's one of the things that has kind of like made me emotional in two separate ways. Like I'm happy that there's finally justice, little by little being provided by the judicial system back in on the island. But at the same time, I'm kind of like a little disturbed and a little upset because there's people who say that recently, when this was handed over to a jury, right? Let me see if I don't want to get this wrong, but they spent, let's see, yeah, 23 days, right? 20 this mind you, this is after a year of the judge handling this case or whatever. She handed it over to like a jury, right? Recently, I guess, like over the past month or so. And it says after 23 days, um, yeah, they found the mom, you know, a guilty or whatever of being whether it be what do you call it, someone who helps um the attacker. There's a term for that. Someone who was part of the crime, you know. Forgive me if I forget words. It's been a long time since I've been on here. It's been a minute since I've I had to like express myself in a professional setting. Um, but yeah, there's a term for that. But anyways, um, yeah, they found her guilty of pretty much like helping her daughter commit the crime. Yeah, no, that's been the case since Genesis 6 or maybe before that. I think it was before Genesis 6, but yeah, but that's been the case. But that won't be the case forever. You know, God's people will have their time, right? We will have our time where we will um, rightfully judge the world and purge it basically alongside God the Father. My bad, yo. My tongue is tied. But anyways, what I was gonna say was there's a lot of people who say that the jury for this case rushed to get to the verdict and get to the conclusion that they got to, because they according to them, 23 days is a very short time to land on a verdict and a conclusion, right? Of whether this person be guilty or not or whatever. But I'm like, it's been over a year, and this is a case that could have been, it should have been, and open and close like within a few days, a few weeks tops, and pushing it, maybe a month and some change, like on a very extreme level. When you have witnesses that were there and they saw what happened, and you bring them into the room and you ask them, right? Um, yes, that's true. Actually, yeah, that's very true. Well, we will judge fallen angels, not regular angels, but fallen angels for sure. That is true. Um, but yeah, like when you have those witnesses and you ask them the same questions, right? A few times and over again on the same day, you're gonna get the most fresh, most like recent in the mind answers that you can ever get. You know, after, like, if you prolong that and you keep asking the same questions and you ask them in a bunch of different ways over a lapse of time, you're gonna run into the wall of confusing the person, right? You're gonna confuse the person. You're gonna make them question themselves because you're gonna be asking the the same questions over and over again, or different questions from different perspectives, and like it happens all the time. And it's not that the people or like the witnesses are lying or or saying anything different. But it is the case that after anybody, it doesn't matter how awesome your brain is and how well you can like memorize something. If someone asks you both the same questions and or different questions over a long extended period of time, and they're they're gonna get them to question themselves at some point eventually. They're gonna make them question like whether they remember things the way they remember them. They're gonna, doubt themselves because why? Because you prolonged and extended, this event, and you're forcing them to recreate what happened and how they remember it, and a bunch of other types of scenarios and pretenses, that are coming with the questions that you're asking them. So, of course, after days, weeks, months, and years, yes, at some point, eventually, some of these like rememberings of the witnesses might potentially change, whether it be a little bit or a lot, depending on what questions you ask them and how you ask the questions, and like how you present the scenario that you want to see in their mind, right? Yeah, and that was the word that I was thinking of. Thank you, accomplice. Yep, definitely. All right. But yeah, that's the part that has me like really upset and really like mad. It's like 23 days to reach a verdict to a case that should have been resolved within that same amount of time to begin with or less is no shortcomings. Like this is not something that was like rushed through. This is, this is how it should have happened to begin with. But um, they're slowly getting to the justice that most of us understand and believe them to get to. So that's an important part. And that's, I mean, on that note, like I am really, really happy about that. It just took way longer than it should have, in my opinion. And everybody's opinion, really. Um, Let me put some background music because, like, talking over like a dry, like muted stream was weird, and I've been doing it for a while now. So let's see, it's like way too low. No, that's not the one I want. Hold on. Okay. Uh, who all is still here? Because I don't know if like the stream like went down for a few or what. I don't know. I saw like a few people here, and then all of a sudden just kind of like dramatically dropped to like zero for a few, and then it went back up just like one or two. So I don't know if I don't know if the connection is weird or whatever. But anyways, let me yeah. I don't know why. I feel like okay. Oh, I'm still there. All right. So okay. Thanks for raising your hand. I appreciate that. I like the whole classroom vibe. Even though I like I highly hated school. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right, perfect. Yeah, I hope you were able to hear everything I said about the case with the girl who got stabbed to death back home on the island. Um, so it's a small win for the public and the family affected, right? Um, so I'm happy about that. I just wish the people who are saying, like, oh, like they rushed to that conclusion and verdict. I really hope they take it back because that's like I feel like that's a disrespect to like the family, and I feel like it's a disrespect to the people and just to justice in general. Because again, in my opinion, and the majority of the people back home, this was supposed to be an open and shut case. Yes, you want to give the benefit of the doubt to make sure that justice is handled fairly, sure, but that shouldn't take a year or more when you have plenty of evidence to work with from the get-go, from the beginning. You know what I mean? But anyways, um the other thing I want to talk about, this is less serious, and this is less meaningful of a topic. It's more of an entertainment topic moving forward. Um, but yeah, I want to talk about a few things that deal with some of these upcoming movies. I'm looking forward to like watching, and yeah, I have finally brought myself to actually allow myself to be excited for a movie like in the theater after like 2 years and some change of like not really feeling like you know watching anything or getting excited over anything. you know um Most of you know why, but I've been able to bring myself to a place where like you know what, like I deserve to be able to like enjoy something for once after a long time of like not really being able to enjoy anything. So first things first, let's talk about the brand new day Spider-Man movie real quick. Okay, I made a video on TikTok a few weeks back, and I'm in the extreme minority of this opinion of mine and this theory of mine. you know and the proof is there. Like, I mean, I hope I'm right, but if I'm wrong, like, it's not a huge deal, it's not a big deal. Like, it was just a theory anyways. But if I'm right about this theory, I really like, I'm never the type to be like, oh, I told you so, I told you so. But, you know, if it happens and I'm right about some of these things, like, I am for once in my lifetime going to be like, I told y'all so. I told y'all. Y'all didn't listen. Y'all thought I was playing. Y'all thought I was joking around. But I told y'all. So some of these theories that I have, because here's the thing, man. Like, sometimes I laugh because sometimes I laugh because people, all right. So in Brand New Day, right? The characters that have been mentioned to appear, right? You know, to get everyone like interested and like pumped and excited for the movie, right? Obviously, Spider-Man's there, right? You got the Hulk, right? You got the Punisher. You have Scorpion. You have some of the like classical like villains. Yo, what up, Chris? What up? What up? What up? Blessings and love to you, my friend. Thank you for being here. You might want to stick around. This is one of those like mutual topics that we can kind of like chop it up about, and maybe I can even ask you for your personal opinion and feedback on all this. And if you want to even hop on the stage, you can too. All right, so you know those are the already the you know the known characters and like all this stuff, right? And then you got characters who are like thought to be in the movie but have not been announced. Like, for example, the whole like Sadie Sink situation, right? Everybody's like dying on that hill and just kind of like so sure 1,000% that Sadie Sink is gonna be playing Jean Grey. And I get it. I understand that when you have a red-haired, you know, female character, right, who is someone new who has not been introduced into a movie yet, and with the trailers of like apparently someone who has like, you know, telepathic and telekinetic abilities, is apparently, and I have to use that word, apparently shown in the trailers, right? Then yeah, I can understand why people will automatically jump to Jean Grey. They're like, oh, that's definitely Jean Grey. That's only she can do that. Only she has red hair. You know, only she can uh, jump from person to person telepathically and do all this, do that. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. So you can do so much with editing. You can do so much misleading with editing, and you could do so much wrong footing with editing. You know, you could put audio on top of visuals in a certain way where you think you're seeing and hearing something be in sync that might not be in sync together, where you're seeing certain things a certain way, so it kind of like drives your mind to jump to that conclusion, like, oh, you know, that yeah, like that person was talking, and then you know their body, whatever left them, and then it jumped to the other person. You know, only a telepath could do that. mm, mm, Not really, not necessarily, right? Now let me make myself extremely clear. Let me make myself very clear. I'm not saying that it's not Jean Grey. Okay, I'm not saying yes. No, Hollywood. Hey, exactly. Hollywood, deceptive? No, no, dear God, no, 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 no. Like it's it. It doesn't have to be the only answer. Is what I'm trying to say, right? And I've talked about this maybe like less than a handful of times on TikTok, and I've talked with my sister about this. I'm like, I, hmm, there's so many like different opinions that I have. Chris says, nah. So, so for example, okay, so the first opinion and theory is okay. You know, Sadie Sink might be Jean Grey, who's being controlled and manipulated by the Jackal, you know, or another villain that they still haven't shown us in the movie. That's a realistic possibility, right? That because that would be honestly that would be the most reasonable and logical possibility of why all that would be going on if it is Jean Grey, right? You have someone in control of her or in control of her powers, right? So they're using her like a vessel, basically, right? So you know that's a possibility. That's a possibility. The other possibility is, you know, there's another villain who is doing the whole telepathic jumping from one person to another situation, and you know the person that we see in some of the scenes, like when someone is being like held captive in a chair in this really big room, that might be Jean Grey, right? And but the person who's doing the telepathic stuff is somebody else, like another villain, which they haven't shown us. That's another possibility, right? And then the other possibility, right, is that they're wrong footing us and they're misleading us with, you know, there being just another redheaded character, like female character, who's like Sadie Sink, who's playing another character, right? Like what's her name? Oh wait, before I jump to that possibility, the only reason why it would make sense for Sadie Sink to play Jean Grey at all is that the upcoming movies in the near future, if with the X-Men and the Mutant Saga, okay, I could see that. I could see why, you know, wanted me to show you some of. Oh, nice, nice. Where is Terrence, by the way? He could stop by himself. He could join the stream if he wants. But sure, yeah, I receive all that love and I bounce it right back at him. Um, but yeah, like I can see why it's easy to jump to conclusions when you have the mutant saga coming soon to the MCU. That makes sense. It makes logical sense. Like, okay, I can see that, right? Um, but outside of that, there's really no reason. Um, kind of like Doctor Doom or whoever Captain America is playing. Yeah, we're gonna get to Doctor Doom stuff in a few minutes. Don't worry about that. We're gonna get to all that stuff in a few minutes. But I just want to get this out the way because I'm the only one in this camp of thought that is thinking about this. So, and it's in the TikTok video. I'll try to show you guys later, but I made that like weeks ago, I think. But let's leave the whole Jean Grey and Sadie Sink thing alone for now. But I'm gonna put myself in an area where it's like I don't think that she won't be playing Jean Grey necessarily, but I also think that it's not the only character that it would make sense for her to play either. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Right now, now I believe, like my opinion, there is another female character that I believe might potentially possibly be in this movie that nobody is expecting. Nobody is suspecting or expecting or seeing this coming, right? And this is if they do this and make this happen in some way, shape, or form, where it makes sense, because you can't just drop someone like this in the movie, you know, just randomly. I get that. And this is where a lot of people I lose a lot of people when I bring the name up because you know, that's like a A-level like character, like it's a big character to drop in a movie that already has a lot going on. And I get that. I get it. I get it. But hear me out. Hear me out. I think, and again, like I said in the TikTok video, if they do this, there's going to be a huge cheering of this character at the theater. The roof is gonna blow up if they did this. If they did this. And matter of fact, I think people would get more excited about this character that I'm gonna mention right now, more so than Jean Grey. Because already everybody's already expecting Sadie Sink to play Jean Grey. So, like if everybody's already looking forward to that and they're already assuming that, it takes away from the excitement when you go to see it in the theater and you finally see it happen. You're not as excited, or it doesn't blow your mind at the same level that it would have, right? uh, I could get in trouble for this, but I'm gonna put this real quick on display. Yeah, all right. So, with the whole Sadie Sink being Jean Grey, everybody's already assuming it and expecting it. So when it does happen, it's not gonna have the same massive effect that it could have or should have had, right? But if what I'm thinking happens, I'm telling y'all, the crowd is going to go insane. There's going to be a bunch of people who are going to rewatch the movie just because of this one scene that I'm going to say right now. Listen, I know y'all probably like, just say it already. Just say it already. Who are you talking about, dude? Just say the name. But I love like explaining myself a lot before I say something crazy like what I'm gonna say right now. So like I said in the TikTok video, like who is one character that a lot of us, especially us 90s kids, right? Us 90s kids, who is one character that we have still not gotten in any of the Spider-Man movies, right? Who is also a female character, right? Mind you, right now Peter is lonely. He's single. He's by himself. He lost the love of his life basically, right? Because she don't remember him, right? So I'm not saying that this person is gonna be an immediate love interest right away to Peter, right? But the potential for something to be there could be there further down the line in the other movies that are coming up, because I think Tom Holland's still signed for like 2 or 3 more movies after this Brand New Day. So I really think we're gonna get, like, to some degree, in some level, I think we're gonna get Black Cat in this movie, yo. Like I have like it's like a 60% chance in my mind that they either might sneak Black Cat in this movie in some way, shape, or form, because they said there's a blonde girl who lives, where Peter lives, like a neighbor, a blonde female like neighbor that lives where he lives, right? And two things: either they use her as Black Cat to some extent and to some degree in this movie, whether it be just like for like a fight scene or some type of like weird towards the end of the movie scene or something like that, or they might tease Felicia Hardy, and at some point of the movie, I'm telling y'all, if they do that, I'm telling y'all right now, just mentioning the name Felicia or Miss Hardy, right? And like, I don't know, giving us some type of like little quick peek of like her outfit hidden it in like a drawer or like in the closet somewhere or something like that. Or like the mask somewhere in her room. Just like a little tease here. I'm telling y'all, if they, if they did that, and if that's in the movie, I will personally rewatch the movie 2 or 3 times after I watch it the first time, because that has been one of the few female characters that is like a big part of like the Spider-Man story arc that we have not gotten yet. And it's been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies, eight Spider-Man movies, and I think only, I don't remember if it was in the Andrew Garfield movies or, yeah, I think it was. And in one of the Andrew Garfield movies where they did allude to Felicia Hardy or whatever at some point, like working at Oscorp or something like that, and which was nice, right? But I don't think they really reeled it in, or I don't think they really gave it as much emphasis as they could have or should have. So I think maybe possibly at some point in this movie they might do like a quick tease of like Black Cat or like Felicia Hardy again, and just kind of like lean a little bit more, lean into it a little bit, and then potentially bring her actually in for an actual movie in the next 2 or 3 movies that they're gonna make. But that's just me. That's just me. Like, I'm one of the first and few people who have thought about this theory, and I'm not ashamed of it. And I know people are gonna say, "Oh, again, like I said earlier, oh, she's too big of a character to put her in a movie where there's like already a lot going on." And sure, I get that. I understand, and to some extent, I agree. But I feel it's already time for them to tease her Black Cat character, like, already. Like, it's time, yo. It's time. Give us Black Cat, yo. Like, give us Black Cat. Like I said, I could be wrong about this. She might not even be an afterthought in the movie at all, right? Which I'm okay with. If that happens and they don't even tease her at all, I'm okay with that, because it's already been 8 movies and we still haven't gotten it. So, but telling y'all right now, if they tease Black Cat in this movie in any way, shape, or form, I'm gonna say I told you so, and I never do. That's not my way. That's not my MO. But I will be that guy. I'll be like, I told y'all. I will make a long video just being like, I told you so. But that's just my theory for look like a green type guy on it. No idea though. It's a show. You're talking about the Lantern show that I'm not too excited about. I'll give it a chance, as I do with all things DC and Marvel. Like, I'll give it a chance, but I'm not too excited about it, because I think they kill off my favorite version of Green Lantern, which is Hal Jordan at the very beginning of the show in the first episode. So, like, my favorite versions of Green Lantern is starting with Hal Jordan, and then second one is Kyle Rayner, and then the third one would be forget his name now. Oh, the black one, the one that is in Justice League Unlimited with the bald head. I don't know. I hope not. I don't know. I really hope they didn't, because if they did, then I'm really not going to watch the show, like, at all. Like, I already had my doubts. I was already on the fence about it. But if they did that, I probably won't watch the show at all. Man, I can't believe I forgot his name. I think it starts with a J or. Dang. I feel really, really, really upset now. Like, I can't remember his name. It's either John or John Stewart. Yeah, I think it is Jon Stewart. Yeah, I'm like 90% it's Jon Stewart. Anyways, yeah, like the first one. Right? All right. So let's get into the Doomsday movie situation. All right. Where do I begin? All right. So over the last few weeks and months, I have been, like I work two jobs. I work a morning job and I work a night job. And sometimes in my morning job when I'm doing my thing by myself, I'll put my headphones on, I'll do my job and do my work, and I'll listen to like podcasts or I'll listen to like movie critics or whatever, and these people who do like deep dives into the movies and just you know critique it. They'll review them. They'll watch the movie, then they'll come back with like the review. And at the beginning, at, at the beginning, it was fun. Um, I saw them pretty much like give their take on the Supergirl movie, which I have not seen and probably won't see. But they gave their feedback on. Uh, are we good? I think the site glitched on my end, so I don't know if y'all can still hear me. But anyways, yeah, like they did a review on the Supergirl movie, and yeah, I watched him too. I watched him too. He's actually one of the ones I watched when he was reviewing the Supergirl movie and all that stuff. And they all or most of them had really good takes, and I was like, okay, like we pretty much coincided in a lot of like the opinions and a lot of like the criticism beforehand. I was like, all right, cool, 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 cool. So so I kept like seeing these people like the critical drinker. Um, who's the other guy? Oh, the other channels like New Rock Stars. That's another one that I watch. Um, oh my goodness, Nerdrotic is another one that I was watching, and they were going in hard on Supergirl and the Odyssey, and I was like, oh my goodness, these people have no mercy, no mercy at all, right? The critical drinker, same thing. He has no mercy on any of the movies that he critiques. So like, but to the whole like Supergirl uh, feedback and critique, they were pretty like spot on with a lot of what they were saying. So I was like, okay, I'll watch these different channels, for like movie reviews and critiques and all that. But then they started going in like hard on like the Doomsday trailer and everything to do with like Doomsday. And I was like, okay, hold up. Hold up, man. Hold up. Like they were like, okay, how do I say this? Okay, so I first of all, I respect all these channels, right? And I respect their hot takes on everything that they review and they give their feedback on and their opinion, and I look up to them to an extent. I'm like, oh, they really do deep dives on these movies and they really, analyze everything. So that's good. Um, but at the same time, it's like, y'all need to relax. Y'all need to like chill out with like some of these like hot takes off of a trailer, right? Okay, for example, but this is coming from a '90s like Marvel and DC fan. Grew up in the '90s. I collected comic books. I read comic books. I watched the animated series of the X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman. Right? I come from that era. Okay, so like I have been more than blessed to see a lot of these like characters come to life, whether it be in like shows or like live action films or animated series, right? we've been blessed. Whoever grew up in the '90s and has been seeing all these like characters brought to life in any way, shape, or form, we have been truly blessed. We've been blessed with the MCU. We've been blessed with like um, some of the greatest DC movies of all time, like uh, The Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises. Well, not The Dark Knight Rises, but Batman Begins, Batman, The Dark Knight, right? But we really got to stop being so extremely critical with every tiny thing in these movies. Like, for example, everybody is like memeing and like, pretty much like poking fun at the whole like shirts pants guy with like Steve Rogers, Captain America. And, oh, it's not Captain America, it's Captain shirt pants or whatever. I'm like, you do know that they're only showing us what they want to show us. Like, you do know that there's a possibility at some point throughout the movie that he might suit up as Captain America, but they're just not showing us that because they want that to be a surprise. Like, you are aware of that, right? That is a possibility that it might actually happen. You are aware of this, right? Like everybody stays so stuck to what they see in the trailer as if what they see in the trailer is like the only thing that's going to happen in the movie. I'll give you another example, right? The other example is like, oh, they're showing us all these B-list characters that can't even do nothing in an actual like life death situation, right? What's Yelena gonna do? What's so and so gonna do? And I'm like, again, you do understand that throughout the movie, at some point, we might have actual like big hitters in the movie that just have not been shown yet because they want it to be a surprise, right? Like, just because we're only seeing these characters in the trailer doesn't mean that these are the only characters in the movie that are going to be like facing, Doomsday and all that, right? I'll give you another example. The list really does go on, but the fact that everybody is like picking everything apart so extremely, like just like unnecessarily, extremely, like dramatically, it's just like, y'all need to like relax, And another thing, and this is something I talk to my sister about all the time, is like, not every Marvel movie needs to be Infinity Game or Infinity War or Endgame. I almost said Infinity Game. Oh, like not every Marvel movie needs to like do numbers and be as exciting and as well built up as Infinity War or Endgame. It's just not the case. It doesn't have to be that way all the time. Obviously, yeah, sure. With an Avengers movie, you wanted to do as well as past Avengers movies, at least, right? I'm not expecting Avengers Doomsday to be this massive, amazing, like astronomical, $10 billion movie, right? Or nothing like that. But I'm at least expecting somewhere between like Age of Ultron, Captain America Civil War, or I don't know, like just it has to be at the very least like as good as those movies. Like as a longtime fan, I'm not hoping or expecting to be blown out of the water like, oh my goodness, it's the greatest movie of all time. It's the greatest movie ever in existence. Like you don't, as long as it's good, as good as the other Avengers movies, and there's that intrigue, there's that a bunch of like aha moments, like where you see something and you connect the dots, you're like, oh crap, that's why this happened this way, or that's why this person's here, or blah blah blah. Easter eggs, right? But people got to stop being so freaking like critical about the dumbest, smallest things. What's the other thing that kind of like take me off? I think they were talking about like, oh, you know, they made Doctor Doom too powerful. No, they didn't. This is how this brother is. This is exactly how powerful this brother is when done right. Like, because they did him dirty in the past Fantastic Four movies, like left and right. They did Doctor Doom so dirty in all the Fantastic Four movies that we've gotten so far, right? So they finally doing him right. They're actually bringing him like they're doing him justice in this movie, basically. And I love to see it. I love to see it because Doctor Doom has always been, in my opinion, from what I remember growing up in the '90s, this like top level like heavy hitter like villain where he was up there with like some of the greatest supervillains of all time, and that's where he needs to be. And they need to give us that in this movie and just kind of like let loose. Let loose of how powerful he actually is. Him stopping Thor with two fingers, totally accurate. Totally and we got to remember. So Doctor Doom, he's not only a genius on the same level as Tony and Reed Richards and all these other genius level characters in the comics, if not more, but he's also a master of, he's up there, top level of like sorcery and like magic and all that. So yes, this dude can like more than likely stop Thor with two fingers because of some magic spell that he casted over himself, some type of like protection, right? So like these people that they made him OP. I'm like, no, nigga, that's not OP. That's just him. That's just how good he is. He is that guy, as some people would say, right? And but people just left and right just like doubting this guy's like power level. It's insane. Um, what's the other thing that there's a few things that really like tick me off, and as Peter Griffin would say, grinding my gears. But just dumb stuff, just really dumb stuff. Like people judging things. Like, oh, that's the other thing. Okay, Mystique, right? They showed us a glimpse of like what Mystique will look like in the movie, right? And what we've seen like in the trailer and the images, sure, I agree that that's not the best look for Mystique, right? I'm not a fan of the way they're presenting her in the trailer and the images. But again, these things, even if it's official trailers, even if it's official like images put out there by the like Marvel and them, it doesn't mean that this is legit exactly how it's going to look in the actual movie. These could also be edits, right? To kind of like keep the real way things will look in the actual movie. But we got a whole bunch of people butthurt, like, oh, like they did her dirty, like look at the way like her, like she would never wear that, and let's wait for the movie, y'all. Let's wait to actually see the movie and see how things actually look like in the finalized, like official in theater product. How about that? How about we do that? How about we stop complaining beforehand of like what we think that they're showing us is going to like actually be? How about we just like wait and watch the movie and see if what we got in the trailer is what we'll actually see in the movie. Everybody's jumping to conclusions, yo. Yeah, that's actually, I've had that conversation about this very topic with like Geeko and producer Jay and my sister. The same way The same way that, in my opinion, fallen angels were demigods to the Greeks and the Romans, is the same way superheroes could be an equivalent to like fallen angels to our modern civilization or community, right? It is like a potential metaphor or equivalent or adjacent term for them, right? Um, yeah, I would for to some extent like agree with that. Yeah. Now now here's the thing. as and I've said this in the past before, but I'll say it again. I'm a fan of this stuff in the sense that I enjoy the artwork. I enjoy art. I'm an artsy person, right? I draw, I color, um, I enjoy making art, drawing art, So when I say I'm a fan of these things, I'm really just saying like I'm a fan of the artwork, like seeing these characters come to life. No, I had to say it just because like I know there's gonna be other people out there who are gonna be like, oh, if you think that way about them, like why? How are you a fan? Why are you a fan if that's what you think about them? Like, well, hold on now. Like, just because I'm a fan of the artwork does not mean I'm just like mega fan, worshiping these like superheroes. That would never be the case. Jesus Christ is the only one I worship. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. It's the only being in existence that I would ever worship and praise. He's the only one worthy of my time, my attention. He's the only one worthy of my life, my worship, my praise, right? No other person or character or thing in this life is worthy of me devoting my time, worship, praise, and attention to. Jesus Christ alone, right? Jesus Christ, God the Father, right? Etc. Um, but yeah, like I these people like really like being so anal about the whole Doomsday thing, right? And it's man, it's I think it's still climbing in numbers of like box office like ticket sales. Let me check real quick. Um, correct. I need actual real time. Real time. Oh, come on. I need the actual numbers, y'all. Let's see if I can go to. Wait. Okay, hold on. I want to see like what's the current numbers. Where is it? Come on. Is it not gonna show up because it still hasn't come out yet? Because they keep track of it regardless. Um, hmm. Mm, damn. Box office. This sucks, yo. How do you check the actual like current um real time numbers for that? Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I'm listening like a podcast while I just. I'm so sorry. It must have been a weird silence while I was like looking up information. So I'm sorry that I took away from the podcast experience for a moment there. But like I guess what in the first 24 hours it did like 16.5 million in ticket sales, like in pre-sales. Okay, this movie don't come out until December of this year, and it's already done over $16.5 million in pre-ticket sales. Um, I think, hmm, I think it's gonna be. did you did you see Helen of Detroit? I heard Achilles got shredded. Okay. Let me say something about that movie. Okay, bear with me, uh, DT. Bear with me. All right. So originally, when it was first announced that Christopher Nolan was gonna take this movie up and make it, I was initially excited for it, right? Before any of the information got out of like who the cast and who was gonna play who or whatever. So I was initially like interested. I was like, okay, I could Christopher Nolan movie, Odyssey. That's like an epic like story. That's what I'm saying, like very cultured stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll give that a try. I'll watch that. So when I saw the trailers for it in other movies, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll be interested in watching that. And then towards like the actual release of the movie, like months before they released it, I feel something. They started saying like, who's gonna be casted for who, and I already knew it was gonna cause like a bunch of like trouble and a bunch of just like what's the word, turmoil, right? And I was like, oh man, yo, this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be difficult. Because the thing is, I still wanted to watch it just because I wanted to see his take on it, and I wanted, like, I think the only other Odyssey movie was like in the 1980s or something like that, which I did watch because like I remember I was in art school at some point, and they would bring in these like really old movies, um, just kind of like for reference or just kind of like studying up on like artistic like culture, like history or whatever. And I remember like watching the old school like Odyssey movie. Obviously, even at the time, it was like extremely outdated. Same thing with like Clash of the Titans. If you watch like the first old version of it, you're like, oh man, that's some crazy camera work. But they did what they did with what they had. So I wanted to see like not a modern version, but I wanted to see a new take on it. Like I wanted to see someone like do it justice and do it right. So I'll still give it a chance. Now, I'll say this: how do I say this gently? It's not as bad as people are making it out to be. Like I was able to enjoy it because I was seeing it and watching it for what it was, and I was kind of like just brushing off certain things and looking past certain things, right? We all know what I'm talking about. Like, I brought myself to look past some of the stuff that might have been put there to bother people like me. So I look past it, and when looking past those things, I was still able to enjoy it. I was like, okay, not what I was hoping for or expecting, but still like good enough, right? In my opinion. Um, I probably wouldn't watch it again at the theater. I might watch it again at some point eventually at home, but I wouldn't rush out to the theater to watch it again. It was just like okay. I think I gave it like a somewhere between a 6 and a 7. Um, and it's just sometimes that's what you have to do. Sometimes you just have to look past certain critiques, and agendas that sometimes are put there in the movies, to actually like enjoy them, But it's not nearly as bad as some people are making it out to be, Like, but I understand and get where those people are coming from, and I understand their train of thought. And yeah, there are hidden agendas here and there within the movie, but sometimes if you're able to look past that, you're actually able to enjoy it. So, um, Helen of Detroit. I know you got that from either Nerdrotic or yeah, I think it's people from Nerdrotic who use that term a lot, or Yellow Flash, Helen of Detroit. That's messed up, yo. By the way, and my sister and me were talking about this. Lupita herself, you know, before she said anything that she said about the movie and spoke up or whatever, before any of that, she is an extremely beautiful woman. Like she's like one of those like black like actresses that I personally, I like consider them like a supermodel. Like her face and everything, her facial features. Like if I were to think up and think of what a black female supermodel would look like her face does come to mind. Like she is one of the first black female faces that like I think of. It was like, yeah, that's like a supermodel. I could easily mistake her for someone who's been in the modeling industry for like years. So she's a very, very extremely beautiful woman. I hope that part is clear, and it should not be debated. It should not be discussed. It should not be like she's not ghetto. Like she's a very classy, like black female. Um, in my opinion, you know what I mean? And yeah, there shouldn't be any doubt or debate whether she's like, beautiful enough, to play the role of, a beautiful woman, or a quote unquote the most beautiful woman, who ever lived or whatever. Like I wouldn't put her in that position, but it's not taken away from the fact that she's actually really, really beautiful, But anyways, yeah, man, people gotta chill out with the Doomsday thing. They really gotta chill out and relax. Like it's really not that serious. Like, oh, this is gonna flop. This is gonna fail. Look at the way they did this so and so's like costume or whatever. Look at how they're putting B-list characters. I'm like, let's wait for the movie, y'all. Let's just wait. And here's the thing, like I understand that actual nerds, like they're so anal about this stuff because to them, it's like if this movie is not like perfect and pristine to like the T to how like we envision it in our minds, it's gonna make us look bad, and it's gonna make the whole nerdum like look bad, and like people are gonna like poke fun at us and laugh at us like ha ha ha, that's the dumbest looking crap I've seen or whatever. That's the way they think, like actual real genuine nerds. That's their train of thought and their logic behind this is like if it's not exactly how it is in the comics, like to the T, we're gonna get laughed at. We're gonna get mocked. They're gonna poke fun at us. They're gonna shame us or whatever. Like that's not the case, man. Like listen, the fact that we're getting an almost to the T perfect recreation of the Cyclops outfit, the yellow and blue, bro. Like what? It's like nothing makes them happy. Nothing makes them happy. It's crazy. And you know, like in a way, some of these people are like my people, right? So, but it's like y'all are never happy. Y'all are never satisfied. Like the producers and the directors and you know the people who do the costumes and the visual effects, they could go all in and give us like the closest thing that they can give us to like a comic accurate like version of the stuff, and y'all will still find like, oh, he's not wearing the yellow trunks, so it's not 100% accurate. Who cares? The fact that he's wearing a blue onesie with a yellow utility belt and pouch and I think the yellow boots. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he's wearing the yellow boots and the yellow visor with the, what is wrong with y'all? This is pretty much what you've been wanting since the 1999 version of X-Men. Like, y'all need to stop being so anal. Yeah, like sometimes I don't know, man. Sometimes I feel like I should just keep to myself and just like not even indulge in like any fandom at all and just keep my opinions to myself and just be like enjoy stuff for myself because like nerds are toxic. Like I'm not gonna lie, nerds are toxic. It's crazy. They're extremely, you know, I think they're like because of how anal they are, the nerds are like the butthole of like what do you call it? everything to do with like nostalgia and oh my god, there's a word for it. There's a word. Oh my goodness, why am I forgetting words tonight, bro? This is insane. Pop culture. They're like the nerds are the butthole of pop culture because of how anal they are. This is crazy. And I hate to say it, but it's the truth. I think, and it has to do with like, again, like nerds wanting everything to be so, starting with the comics, and the sculptures and the statues and the toys and the cards, like everything has to be pristine. Gem Mint 10. Like this movie has to be a Gem Mint 10 because if not, what's the point? What's the point of making it if it's not perfect to the T, comic book accurate? Y'all are like, it's like y'all are begging for a prostate exam. That's what it feels like. Like the whole nerd fandom and nerd community are begging for a prostate exam day to day. That's how anal they are. Is that they're just begging for the digging up of the finger. Again, that's not me wanting to sound gross or nothing. I'm just saying, like that's how anal y'all are. I could not live with myself that way. I could not bring myself to the point where I'm nitpicking every single thing about a movie without even actually experiencing the movie. Like jumping to conclusions, assuming things just because I saw it in a trailer. Oh, and that's exactly how it's going to be in the movie. For sure, 1,000%. There's no extra editing, hiding anything, or manipulating anything. When we've known that in the past, they've shown us stuff in trailers that don't come out in the movie or vice versa. So like, what are we doing here? What, why, just why? I mean, listen, if y'all want a prostate exam so bad, I think y'all can definitely schedule one way in advance. Okay, go ask your primary doctors, like, hey, I'm really wanting, like to get checked up there a few times. Listen, I love y'all. I love my nerd community, but y'all need to stop being so anal. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop being so nitpicky. Be happy that we're getting a Doctor Doom being done right and being done justice. Be happy that they're leaning more towards the comic book accurate version of the outfits. Be happy that they're trying their very best to reset this whole like mess that they made towards the end after Endgame. They're trying to correct it and start a new slate. And let's just watch the movie and let's enjoy it for what it is. And who knows, you might be surprised. Like they might have a bunch of like gotcha moments, which is honestly what I'm betting on. I'm really betting on that we're getting wrong footed in a lot of things that we think are going to happen a certain way, but they're just going to catch us off guard and by surprise and just um, just kind of like gain our trust again, the same way they did at the very beginning, which is the whole goal of like Kevin Feige and everybody else working on these movies is like they said it themselves. They want to gain our trust back. So they the same way that Tom Holland stated that he's been like you know always been paying attention to like the fans and what they want to see in the movies and what the I don't know stuff that opinions and feedback from the fans and viewers um and he's taken that into account, which made him speak up for on behalf of like the fans basically and tell like production directors like what we want to see. It's the same way I think and believe that Kevin Feige and all these other like people working on this Doomsday movie have also been taking us into account. Like, let's not think that they're just doing their own thing, like not listening to the fans, not looking at the posts and all this other stuff. This is the overreaction to since before us getting canceled. People are over. Yeah. Agreed. That's 1,000% agreed. Yeah, overreaction is an understatement too. but yeah, man. Like, you know, some of these nerds, man, they gotta get some Vaseline. Okay. So Jaime says, do you think another factor is when theories are not proven at all in the movies or shows? When I was hardcore into MCU, from beginning of MCU up until 2022, I would get high off of theories and be devastated when it wasn't the case. Yeah, I'm sure that's a huge factor. Like the disappointment in people. And here's the thing. So I know I'm aware that fans have been disappointed um, after Endgame, and between Endgame and now, because of the jam-packed, non-stop content that we got on Disney Plus and other platforms, right? Moon Knight and uh, Miss Marvel, and all these other shows that were just pretty much like forced into like shoved down our throats, basically. Um, there was a lack of quality throughout those shows, and it just kept getting like less quality and less quality and less quality and like worse, and we kept getting, like you said, like devastated, right? And we feel turned off when it's not just one time, but when we've been like pretty much, man, I used the word earlier, now I forget. We get disappointed, right? We get like strongly disappointed because of the number of disappointments throughout the number of shows that we got back to back to back, and even movies that here and there, like the Marvels, and you know, we got this so disappointed watching so many things back to back that was like lesser and lesser quality. Um, and what you said about the not the unproven theories, right, in some of these movies and shows, Where yeah, I get how that could be a huge factor of being like just so strongly disappointed that you lose faith in a franchise and you lose faith in like giving them like an actual chance or whatever. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. And this is where I go back to like, hey, everything should be treated as an isolated incident, an isolated event, an isolated experience. So, therefore, when we see these new trailers with this upcoming like Doomsday movie, this upcoming like Brand New Day movie, and you know, nitpicking aside and looking at the smallest, dumbest things to nitpick and be critical about, like overall, if we're being presented these companies like really trying to any extent and level to give us something of good quality. Listen, that Doctor Doom um wardrobe, like the costume, looks so amazing. I wish I could buy that costume and just wear it all day, every day. Like if I had the money to buy, get my hands on that outfit and just wear my Doom mask like every single day, it looks so amazing. They really worked hard on that outfit, that costume, and it looks great. It really looks like something that I would envision to see in live action in the real world. Because that's the thing. That's the other thing. So how do I say this without hurting nerds' feelings everywhere? Most of the time, these extremely colorful outfits that we see in the comics are way freaking out there, man. They're really out there. And it's like they're so bizarre and so crazy to believe someone would wear them in the real world. Have you seen Elektra's outfit? Have you seen Elektra's outfit? I don't envision or imagine any female wearing that outfit. I can believe it's extremely comfortable to fight in. But outside of that, I don't see any female wearing that on a daily basis in the real world. And yeah, like at flamboyant at times. Like, come on, like who else? Who else wears something like really crazy that's just like just have actually ah nice, nice, nice. Like even Cyclops' outfit is out there, bro. Even if it's just like a two-tone, like blue and yellow, like outfit, that's out there. That's like really bright. I would not envision a soldier, because that's pretty much what he is, a soldier wearing freaking a blue onesie, basically, and like yellow, like utility belt, like super bright yellow utility belt with freaking red X patches on. Bro, Wolverine's outfit? Are you kidding me? Like, even they did it justice in Deadpool and Wolverine, but it's because they gave it a realistic twist to it. Like they didn't just upright just give them a like bright blue and yellow, like no. It was like a gold colored attire with blue accents here and there, right? And it looked like something that was like military made. Like it wasn't just yellow spandex. This dude was not wearing a yellow and black onesie with like a blue underwear or whatever you want, like blue trunks. And with a red belt. He wasn't doing none of. They didn't give him all that because it doesn't look realistic, yo. Like you. And this is something that Marvel has always done right. This is why in the first X-Men movie we got black attire. It's realistic. It's something that I could imagine a team like that wearing because it looks normal. You look like normal human beings that just happen to have superpowers. You know what I mean? Like this is why we got, like oh my goodness, Who else? Uh, yeah, y'all. I think y'all can understand the point I'm trying to make. Like, there's reasons of why, like, they make things a certain way that they make them, because you can't just go you can't just go full on like colorful spandex, yo. You just can't. Could you imagine if they were to make a movie nowadays with a Superman movie where he's just wearing straight up like body tight blue and like yellow and red like spandex and stuff? Come on, let's be real. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants. I'm sorry. If you say you want to see that, you're lying. You're lying. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to your mama. You're lying to your grandmama. You're lying to God. You're lying to yourself. Nobody wants to see anybody in body tight, skin tight, thin, colorful spandex. Nobody wants that. What we want is something that's close to it, but it's still realistic enough to see it in person. That's what I'm saying. Like, nobody wants to see that. Have me saying, like, imagine Robin fighting Joker in an emerald green Speedo in the year of our Lord 2026. That's what I'm saying. Like, nobody want to see that. Let's be real. Let's be honest with each other, yo. It's TC. God bless you, brother. Blessings and love to you and all here as always. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. It's going okay. I'm trying to have some fun here and have a fun discussion on these upcoming Marvel movies. But it makes me angry. It makes me really angry and upset that some of these nerds out there, they really try to be like about that life and say, oh, like, why can't we get, these comic book accurate like outfits, or why is that so hard to do? Brother, because nobody trying to see people in colorful, tight skinned, thin spandex. Nobody trying to see that, bro. Like, nobody. Okay. Again, if you're saying you want to see that, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. You need to go to church. You need to get right with God. You need to ask for forgiveness. You need to stop lying to yourself and stop lying to your brain and stop lying to people, because nobody wants to see that. This is why the Dr. Doom outfit is freaking amazing, because it is just close enough to be comic book accurate, but at the same time looks so. Oh, I wish I could buy that thing, man. It's crazy. It looks like a mix between like medieval and like modern, like high tech level, superior, just like, I don't know. It's like a combination of like old and new. And like it has that like medieval aesthetic where it's like the gauntlet and the designs of the ruins and all that stuff. But I don't know. I love it. I love that thing. If I could buy it, I would. Anyways, what time is it? I don't even know. Oh, my sister reminded me about our daily run, our weekly run tomorrow. Anyways, I don't care what anybody says. I am excited and hyped for both movies, both the Spider-Man Brand New Day movie and the Avengers Doomsday movie. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what level of nitpicking the nerdum is having and trying to, like, rip these movies apart, especially the Doomsday movie. They're really looking at it. They're I don't know, man. They're just overdoing it. They're really overdoing it, and like, they can't be satisfied. Like, you could give them the most comic book accurate like details in some of these characters and the story arc or whatever, and they'll still find something to complain about. Oh, Cyclops don't have the yellow boots. Oh, Gambit, not wearing his blue boots. Oh, I don't know. Freaking any little thing is like a huge reason to like tear this movie apart for whatever. I'm tired of it, yo. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the people. Yeah. It's facts though. It's facts. They really do. They really do. And it's really upsetting. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, okay. By all means, you could share the synopsis in the comment section and the live chat. But I'll say this. I'll say this. The same thing I said earlier about the trailer and the potential edits, right? And the fact that just because we've seen things in the trailer does not make them out to be 1,000% exactly how we're gonna see them in the movie. I'll say the same thing about the the plot. They could be telling us about the plot. They could say, "Oh," because I've heard the plot too, and the synopsis and all that. I've heard all of it, and I'm like, let's wait for the movie. let's just wait for the movie, y'all. Because just because they put it out there, and it got leaked, the plot got leaked, and people are already like, oh, this is a terrible plot. This is the worst plot in all of comic book movie like history. Because that's what I've heard. I've heard Nerdrotic say it. I've heard I think Yellow Flash from Nerdrotic, the Nerdrotic group, and some other movie reviewers are like, oh, if this is the actual plot, this is dog crap, and this. I'm like, let's wait for the movie. Let's just wait and watch the movie, and then see if what they were showing us and telling us. That would be a twist. That would be an actual twist. And it would be a twist that nobody would see coming. DT. So, but yeah, like I just, that's another thing, man. Like spoiling little things here and there is okay. But now we're getting to the point where it's like the plot got leaked and the storyline and the dialogues got leaked and the first scene of the movie got leaked and the last scene of the movie got. I don't want to know everything about the movie going into the movie. I don't even want any ideas. I want to be surprised. I want to be 100% surprised. Like I want to go into the movie and just let the movie do what the movie wants to do. You never know. That's what happened with the other movie. Well, not exactly, but one of the first. Nah, she's not the first one that's seen, but yeah, the Odyssey. Yeah, the Odyssey has a weird way of presenting certain characters. Heck nah. Nah, they would never do that to Doom. Can't do that to Doctor Doom, man. That's the other thing. Oh man, I'm telling y'all, there's so much to talk about. So especially in today's world, listen to the reviews of Supergirl and see the money on it. Same. I have not seen that movie. I might see it like at home just to check it out, give it a chance without paying for it. But I did not spend money on Supergirl just because it just didn't reel me in, Milo as Dr. Doom. No. Everybody like mad and upset and why they brought Robert Downey Jr. for a different role? Like How about we watch the movie and allow them to make sense of it? How about that? How about we let them convince us of why it was such a great idea? How about that? Because I've said this before. Robert Downey Jr. is not hurting for the money. He doesn't need the extra money. He's beyond better off and retired basically. Like he listen, he's more than satisfied. He's more than satisfied with the money he's made throughout the years. He does not need this movie to work out for him to like do well. I look forward to the end of it. Yeah, but well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And this is why I say let's just wait. Let's just wait and see. Because I've heard things too, and I've heard that he is gonna remain like as Doctor Doom for like over the course of a few more movies. Not just Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, but a few more movies afterwards. And if that's the case, hey, I'm all for it. But if they bring him back as Iron Man for whatever reason, I'm okay with that too. That doesn't like I'm unbothered is what I'm trying to say. I'm unbothered about him playing a different character. I'm unbothered if they switch him back to Iron Man. I don't care because number one, he does an amazing job as Iron Man. Is under contract with Marvel. Yeah, but I think I don't know. I don't see him playing Iron Man. I see him playing like maybe Captain America or I don't know. I have to sit down and like really compare like facial features here, but it's something. Ah. But yeah, no, everybody's like butthurt about like them bringing back, you know, oh that too. Yeah, that's actually, and I think that's what someone brought up some time ago that he could be playing the Beyonder, which I could see that. I could see that. That makes sense. Yeah. Um, but everybody's butthurt about well, they were desperate, so they brought back. Listen, both things can be true. Both things can be true. On one side, sure, there might be the fact that Marvel, was in a desperate position and they needed to make things work for this movie, and they needed to gain the interest and attention of everybody. So they went for like the safest decision in a sense, right? Of getting like our DJ back. There's nothing wrong with that because that's them at least trying, right? And on the other hand, our DJ he's not hurting for the money. Like, doesn't matter like what amount they're paying him to do it. He doesn't need the money. He's fine. Like, he's doing extremely well without this movie. Right, that too. I think RDJ taking on this role, and he said it. He like at the very beginning when they first announced this, he said it himself. Like, I would not have picked up this role if I didn't think that the plot and the storyline was compelling enough. And I believe that. Like, I truly, genuinely believe he would not have said yes if he didn't see and understand this to be like an amazing plot twist, an amazing storyline where it's like, yo, that's dope. That makes sense. Like, I'm in. Like, I believe him. I believe him when he said that. I'm like, you know what? Facts. Okay. That, respect for that. Because he's not going to do it just for the money, yo. He's just not. He's not going to do something like that. Because you got to think long term. If this movie does not pan out and it's crap and there's no plot twist, and there's the storyline sucks and the movie sucks, guess what happens to his reputation? His reputation takes a huge, massive hit because this is a big risk. It's a huge risk. So I think it makes sense for him to take that risk only if it truly, genuinely makes sense to him. You know, and I believe that because he don't need the money. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, he's doing it for the money. He don't need the money. He's good. He's good without this movie. He didn't need this movie to like sustain himself. And okay, so let's tackle this real quick. I agree. I don't like what's his name? Pedro Pascal, PP. I don't like PP where uh playing the role of Richard. They should have left John Krasinski. That was honestly my favorite take on Reed Richards. It was John Krasinski. I know he only did the part that he did in Multiverse of Madness just for fan service because we all like wanted him to like play that role. But it was the greatest like few minutes that we got of an actual comic accurate Mr. Fantastic. You know, Pedro, I know they picked Pedro because at the time he was like, you know, quote unquote, like one of the best male actors of our time. You know, he had already done other roles, and he was getting placed in every position. Oh, not here for this. Every role. I'm sorry, every role in a bunch of movies. He was like the hot guy at the time. So I think that's why they picked him up for that role. But he's it just doesn't make sense to have him as Reed Richards. It just doesn't. And I really do hope at the very least, I hope they make justice by Mr. Fantastic, like and his powers. You know, the whole like being able to stretch extremely crazy out there. You know, like I want to see that. I want to see him like being able to like stretch out beyond our imagination. That's what he's supposed to be able to do. Because we didn't get that in Fantastic Four. We really did not get that. Like, yeah, I don't even want to talk about the Galactus versus Reed Richards scene. That was just so dumb. That was so dumb. He barely stretched the guy, and he was already screaming in pain. Like, bro, you're supposed to be able to like do loop-de-loops a bunch of times before even feeling anything. But anyways, I agree about the Reed Richards thing, and even the Namor, which I'm sorry, I've always said it Namor. Okay, if I've been saying it wrong for 20 plus years, Namor the Submariner, then I don't care. I'm gonna keep saying Namor. I'm not gonna say Namor. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, I agree. They not comic book back. But see, these are things are easy fixes, and these are complaints that actually carry some weight. Like they actually do. Like I don't know what is Pedro Pascal. What ethnicity is he? Right. Right. Exactly. Um, is Pedro Pascal like? I'm assuming he's Hispanic of some sort. Isn't Reed Richards like the whitest of the whites? like, isn't Reed Richards or Mr. Fantastic like the epitome of like the white guy or whatever? Which is no disrespect to like white people, obviously. I'm just saying like Reed Richards that I remember from like the comics is he's your average white dude. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. Have a white dude like John Krasinski like play that role. Like, why are we having Hispanic guy play the role of Richards? These are the things that is like when nerds like make a point to it, like, okay, valid, that makes sense. That is an actual critique that holds weight. Cool. But don't complain about if he's wearing white gloves or not. I don't care. That's such a small thing that I don't care about. That's not that important for me to like nitpick it apart. Race swapping is why race swap? Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean? And then that's when they'll probably get upset. Because you could race swap one way, but you can't race swap the other way because God forbid, right? But But yeah, Namor, the Submariner. I think he's also supposed to be like white. Just 80%. Yeah, Namor, the Submariner. I think he's supposed to be like just another white dude, which is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a white dude like play a white dude role. Like, these are the things that I'm okay with, like, nerds being mad about because it makes sense. But don't come to me and tell me, oh, they didn't get, Cyclops outfit good because he's missing the red and black X thing at the belt buckle of his belt. That's not important to me. I don't care. I don't care. Does the 90% of his outfit is it accurate? Is it close to being accurate? Cool. I'm happy. Like, good. Keep it moving. Oh, he's not wearing yellow gloves. Is he wearing a blue onesie with a freaking yellow utility belt and yellow boots and the yellow like visors? Then I don't care if he's not wearing yellow gloves. It's not that important. It's not that serious, yo. uh. But yeah. What else? I was gonna say something else and I forgot. Oh man. Wait, what time is it? It's already 9:50. Okay. Like, I give myself like 10 more minutes and then I'll call it a night in 10 minutes. But because I'm already heated. I need to cool down and calm down. But yeah, like, to my fellow nerds, relax. Take a chill pill. Stop begging for a prostate exam. Okay? Relax. Chill out. Touch some grass. I don't know. Read a book. Take a cold shower or a hot shower, whichever one makes you calm and relaxed. Drink some hot chocolate, cancel that prostate exam that you're begging for and just relax. Truly relax. It's not that serious. Oh, RDJ's accent. What's the Latvian accent? Oh, it doesn't sound like it. Am I able to tell the difference between him and Tony Stark? Yes. Good. That's all I need. I'm not looking for 1,000% accurate Latvian accent. I don't. It's not that. Listen, man. I'm just gonna. When I heard RDJ speaking from like Victor Von Doom's like little lines that he did, I didn't know it was RDJ at first. It took me a minute to be like, oh crap, that's RDJ. Yo, he caught me off guard. Like, he caught me slipping. He convinced me. Like, that's not Tony Stark. That is a completely different person. I'm sorry. I don't need 100% accurate Latvian. Who even knows what that sounds like? I want to know. Like, all these people who say, oh, that's not a, whatever European accent. I don't care. I'm able to distinguish that it's a completely different character. And it sounds amazing. It does. It sounds amazing. I don't care what anybody says. Like, stop looking for the fifth leg. As we say back home, like, you're looking for a fifth leg. You're looking for the cat's fifth leg. You're just not gonna find it, right? But they're able to find this fifth leg and the sixth leg and the seventh leg over the dumbest stuff. I'm like, yo, he didn't, in my opinion, and I'm not, as some people would say, I'm not an RDJ Glazer. I'm not a fanboy like that. I respect the man. I respect him as an actor. He did an amazing job with, like, giving Iron Man, like doing justice by Iron Man. Because let's be real, let's be real. For those of us who, are like 90s kids and like grew up with comic books and all that, let's be real, let's be honest. Before RDJ played Iron Man, in my opinion, Iron Man was like between a B and A level character. Like he wasn't the A list character in comics that you know RDJ has made him out to be. He just wasn't. Like he was like second in command next to Captain America, or he was like, he was just a really like cool like add on like to some of these like storylines. But he was not like top of the top, like, oh, Iron Man's like the ish. Oh, he wasn't. Like not before the movies. No, they can't waste the characters because they've got the mutant saga coming in the coming years. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. He really did. He really did, and I respect him for that because that's hard to do. It's hard to bring a B list character from like a well known IP and do him justice to the point where like now like everybody thinks Iron Man is like the ish. He did that. RDJ did that for the character. He brought the character to life. He really, he just did great. Are they? I don't think they should. The one that they did was perfect. It was great, but I don't think they should do a second one. I think if they make another one, it's not gonna perform as well as the first one. It's just not. Some movies you gotta leave alone. You gotta like it's gotta be a one and done. Because if you try to replicate some of the magic that you had in the first one, it's not going to transfer over as well in a second one. It's just not. I don't think they should do that. That's a terrible idea. Now, what they should do, what they should do is this. This is what they should do. A Spider-Man and Deadpool movie where they finally cross paths and like actually meet each other. I am all in for that. 100% all in for that. Please and thank you. I would watch that 5 times at the theater. I would watch that 10 times in the theater. I would watch that in all the different formats that they have in the theater. 3D, 4D, Dolby. You heard that? 3D, 4D, Dolby. Disney isn't going to turn that money away the last one. Yeah, I get that. And I agree that Disney will get greedy. But it's not a good idea in the sense that like it's just, I don't know. In my opinion, if they were to do that, it's just not going to do as well as the first one. Like it might make like maybe like 75% of what the first one made. Just because again, like there's certain things that you cannot replicate because it's the first time you're seeing these like juggernaut characters together in the movie, so that's why it did as well as it did the first time. After already seeing them together once, it's not as magical and as exciting to see it happening in a second one. But like they might still do it just as a cash grab. Um, exactly. Yes, you perfectly described. That's exactly what that is. The Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, the first one, perfect. Leave it alone. Don't make a second one unless you're going to expand on what you did in the first one. Maybe it might work. But outside of that, y'all saw what happened. I haven't even seen it. I have not seen part 2, and I refuse to watch it because it's a musical. I'm sorry. I'm not here to watch a musical about the Joker and Harley Quinn. I'm not doing that. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's perfectly summed it up. Perfectly. But this, I can watch this all day, every day. Okay? Oh, he would. Listen, people are going to say what they're going to say about Ryan Reynolds, and some of it might be true. But let's give credit where credit is due. All the Deadpool movies have been under Ryan Reynolds' like watch and his direction and his writing, and they have been near perfect, if not perfect. And when he's the one like writing and setting everything up, and you know, because he's another person who listens to the fans. He's someone else who actually takes fans into consideration. Oh, yeah, right. My friend, I love that kid. I hope he's doing well. I was in his lives the other day and told him what's up. Yeah, yeah, they tried. They just gonna have to try the spray paint or tar or something. But yeah, no, like this I would watch, and I know they're gonna do it eventually, but I don't know. I'm kind of now I'm on the fence because if they do make this movie, like, and this goes up in value, I'm gonna feel strongly tempted to like sell this, and it's gonna be tough because I'm probably gonna be in a position where I might need the money. You know what I'm saying? Like me remake Sandy. Oh, yo, that would be interesting. Not. Hold on, let me put this back. Man, wiping some of that dust off of these comics just did a number on me. Boy. All right, I'm gonna start saying my goodbyes because it's getting late. But for those of you who were here all this time, for a few seconds, a few minutes, or the entirety of the show, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for putting up with my little rant. Uh, and yeah, spread the word, man. Spread the word. I think I'm gonna try to do more of these types of like lives here and there more often moving forward. Just because I need an outlet to kind of like have some type of fun and have some type of like humor, and I guess an outlet to get all my stress out in a playful, entertaining way. So I'll try to do more of these little by little on the weekends, probably like Saturdays and Sundays, or Friday nights like I'm doing now. Nice. Yeah, man, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. It's been a while. It's been a long while, but like I'm trying. I'm really trying to get myself back into a place where I can bring myself to connect with you guys again. Watch out. um, and this might be one of the few ways that I might be able to do it for now. Obviously, I will be getting back to like more serious and more delicate topics, eventually. But for now, I'm gonna like dip my toes here and there with these types of topics only because these types of topics allow me to kind of like, have fun or try to have fun. Uh, yeah, man. Well, I'm surprised he didn't stay for longer. because some of this stuff. I know he's not like a full on like fan of these things, but I would figure it would be some type of topic that would somewhat interest him here and there. So I'm surprised that he didn't stay here for the entirety, but I'm still grateful and thankful he was here at all. So yeah. So yeah, guys, pray, get right with God, fast when you can, do as many Bible studies as you can throughout the week, whether it be by yourself or with a brother in Christ or sister in Christ. Ask God for wisdom, ask God for strength, ask God for grace, ask God for him to do what he needs to do in your life. And just seek God's face on a daily. Like, we should all be doing that. I don't need to. I shouldn't have to play like a broken record, but we should be seeking God's face every morning and every night and every moment in between, right? And we should be seeking God's direction and asking for his direction and his, how to follow through with what he wants us to do to reach our purpose in him. So anyways, I'll shut up now. But God bless every single one of you guys. He's not far from anyone. You just need that. Yeah, exactly. That's all it really takes. Father God, I'm here. I'm in your presence. Guide me, bless me, protect me. Show me your ways. Lighten up the path where you want me to walk through. Guard me with your protecting hand, right? Put angels around me, my family, my home. Protect me with your mighty, saving, healing hand. The list goes on. But yeah, before I leave, I am gonna play the song that I played at the intro of the stream, like once or twice. It is a song that my cousin did with a little bit of help. Well, this one is actually like the other way around. He had like very little to do with it, and the vocals are AI, but I think the lyrics are his, something like that. But yeah, I'll play that song once or twice to end and wrap up the stream. But a quick shout out to everyone: Terrence, Dead Twist. I know Jaime was here. Obviously, Chris was here at some point. Remix Ultra was here, and other people that didn't really pop up in the live chat, but I know we're here. Fam was here at some point. So yeah, every one of you guys, God bless y'all. I truly, genuinely do love every single one of y'all in the love of Christ and through God's love, right? And yeah, just keep me in your prayers. Keep my sister in your prayers. My mom in your prayers. They need lots of prayers for their health. God needs to do a miracle in my sister's health, and he needs to do a miracle in my mom's health. And yeah, just keep my family in your prayers, as vice versa. Keep me in your prayers, and keep an eye open for future streams that might happen on weekends, like Saturdays, Sundays, and nights like tonight. We'll keep it fun. We'll keep it light. We'll keep it conversational. We'll keep it entertainment based for the most part. Appreciate that, bro. I receive the prayers, and I receive anything positive and good that you send my way. So, all right. That being said, let me see if I can put the song again real quick before I leave. Man, I gotta dust my room more often because dusting my comics, it's tough. Okay. Sorry, I saw something funny. Okay, let's see if I can play this. Okay. All right. Don't nobody leave. Don't nobody move. And do not try to be like, my fellow nerdum, my fellow nerd fams, and just lay off that begging of a prostate exam. Stop begging for that. All right, here we go. Gonna play play the song before I leave, y'all. I'm sorry, I was doing so well with the prayer and then I messed it up at the end. All right, I'm gonna play this like twice before I leave, just so we can enjoy it. Let's see if I can.
Told me love don't live around here no more. So I built a city in the dark, looking for you. Neon halo over sinners in designer clothes. Angels in the section throwing roses at the post. Everybody broken, but we hide it in the gold. Dancing with the devil while we praying for control. I came from the bottom where the wine turned bitter, where the snake talk slick and the cold get colder. Now I move water like a prophet in the winter, turn pain into champagne every time I pour over. Crossroads, lost souls all inside the venue. Heart full of scars, but the lights make them sensual. Every bad decision got a price in a menu. Still I break bread with the ones that would end you. If love's a religion, then why we all sinning? Why every kiss feel forbidden, still chase that light like we already seen it. We all want heaven without dying tonight. Want diamonds and forever in the same neon lights. Everybody reaching for a feeling they can't buy, so we toast to the stars while we slowly lose our minds. But if I fall, would you carry my name through the fire at all? If the world go dark and the last song calls, would you still choose love at the end of it all? And I've been running on fumes in a room full of saints with a halo of smoke and a head full of blame. If there's mercy left, let it know my face. If there's room in the dark, let me stay. We all want heaven without dying tonight. Want diamonds and forever in the same neon lights. Said everybody reaching for a feeling they can't buy, so we toast to the stars while we slowly lose our minds. But if I fall, would you carry my name through the fire at all? If the world go dark and the last song calls, would you still choose love at the end of it all? Neon salvation. Neon salvation.
One more time before I leave, but I love y'all. God bless y'all. And thanks for hanging out. I'll see y'all tomorrow night or Sunday night.
Don't live around here no more. So I built a city in the dark, looking for you. Neon halo over sinners in designer clothes. Angels in the section throwing roses at the post. Everybody broken, but we hide it in the gold. Dancing with the devil while we praying for control. I came from the bottom where the wine turned bitter, where the snake talk slick and the cold get colder. Now I move water like a profit in the winter. Turn pain into champagne every time I pour over. Crossroads, lost souls all inside the venue. Heart full of scars, but the lights make them sensual. Every bad decision got a price in the menu. Still I break bread with the ones that would end you. If love's a religion, then why we all sinning? Why every kiss feel forbidden? Still chase that light like we already seen it. We all want heaven without dying tonight. Want diamonds and forever in the same neon lights. Everybody reaching for a feeling they can't buy, so we toast to the stars while we slowly lose our minds. But if I fall, would you carry my name through the fire at all? If the world go dark and the last song calls, would you still choose love at the end of it all? And I've been running on fumes in a room full of saints with a halo of smoke and a head full of blame. If there's mercy left, let it know my face. If there's room in the dark, let me stay. We all want heaven without dying tonight. Want diamonds and forever in the same neon lights. Said everybody reaching for a feeling they can't buy, so we toast to the stars while we slowly lose our minds. But if I fall, would you carry my name through the fire at all? If the world go dark and the last song calls, would you still choose love at the end of it all? Neon salvation. Neon salvation.